Welcome back to Yellow Jacket Life. I'm Braxton.
And I'm Caroline. Before we get into this week's episode, we want to share some news and information.
For sport tryout dates and upcoming testing schedules, see the Roane County High School website.
First up, Riley Krause talks with Brody Weaver about leadership.
Welcome back to another segment of Leadership here on Yellow Jacket Life. I'm Riley Krause here with senior baseball player Brody Weaver, and I'm going to ask him a few questions about his leadership style. Tell me a time when you had to step into a leadership role unexpectedly.
If we're talking about baseball, starting off with conditioning, before the season even started, I feel like just guiding the freshmen, helping them learn what to do, whether that was just going through a few drills that we normally do.
What are some words that you would use to describe a good leader?
I believe encourager, just being nice and just caring about others.
How would you describe your leadership style?
I believe I'm an encourager. I mean, if anybody is down on themselves or if they just need help, I'm always right there just encouraging them, helping them out.
So how do you usually deal with some disagreements that you may have on the baseball team?
Well, I believe it starts out with you got to figure out what they're in a disagreement about, because sometimes it could be stupid. It could be over seeds. It could be over anything. But I mean, once you figure that out, just helping someone talk it through, or just sometimes you got to let them find them out. But it's all right.
Is there someone that you look up to as a leader, and if so, who?
My dad. He's always there. You know, just one person you want to be like. But I mean, he coached me whenever I was young and just taught everything he knew and encouraged us when we were down and just helped every one of us out.
And finally, what is some advice that you would give to someone wanting to step into a leadership role that's younger?
Just go out there and do it. You know, it's really not that hard to just be nice to someone and encourage them along the way.
Thank you, Brody. And that concludes this year's segment of Leadership. Thank you to all my guests and everyone who has watched, and I hope you've learned something this year.
Next on Sports Talk, senior tennis player Alex Roberts.
Welcome back to
Sports Talk.
I'm Malachi.
And I'm Macy.
And we're here with Alex. So, Alex, how's the season going so far?
Pretty good. The girls team is undefeated this season, and we have one more win against Harriman, and we're district champs.
So, Alex, do you like playing singles or doubles better?
Doubles, because my partner is amazing.
Who is it?
Braxton Fritz.
Shout out to you, Braxton.
What made you want to play tennis?
I got bored one day, and I decided to go and play with a couple of my friends up at the high school tennis courts, and it started from there.
Who would you challenge in a tennis match?
Gage Brown.
Why?
Because he says that he can beat me when he really can't, because I've beat him twice already.
That is all for sports this week. Thanks for talking to us, Alex.
You're welcome.
See you guys next time.
And for the last time, Malachi and Barrett are back again in the kitchen with their segment, Cooking with the Boys.
What's up? I'm Barrett.
And I'm Malachi.
And we're back with Cooking with the Boys, and today we're making a pina colada cake.
What?
So our first ingredient is going to be just regular cake mix, yellow, and then sweetened condensed milk, and cream of a coconut, and the stuff to make the cake with, you know, just your oil and eggs and stuff. We're going to start out with pouring this cake batter in there. Now we're going to crack our eggs.
We just cracked our 3 eggs. Gotta add that oil. In there. You're gonna mix it up.
And now you're going to whisk until a good consistency. Put it in there, fold it over. And... Alright, so now we're going to spray some oil in there, just, you know, cooking spray. And then you're going to take your yellow cake mix and just get all of it in there. Make sure it spreads out evenly and good. And we're going to slide it right in there and let it bake.
So So you're gonna grab your sweetened condensed milk and your cream of a coconut, and you're gonna dump it in here. Real nice, get it all in there. Take a break. Okay, well, then you're gonna, Baird, I'll let you do that actually.
Take your whisk, and you're just gonna stir it up real good.
This so bad that you go English.
As you can tell, it's really cool on the inside now, so we're gonna put this cool whip on it. So Malachi, I'll let you do the honors.
Just gonna get
You
it.
just want to get a good, nice, even layer all over it. Just
He's gonna try it out for us to see if it's pretty bussin' or not.
This may or may not put me in a coma, but ride or die for the boys, right?
Yep.
that's right.
Yes. This is a really great cake, and it may make me tweak just a little bit, but that's a risk you have to take if you want a good cake like this.
And once again, Maris brings us another mixtape.
I'm Mr. McDaniel, and today here I'm with Tammy Newell. Ms. Newell is a support staff for Roane County High School. And Ms. Newell, we had a tragedy this week. One of our students passed away in an accident. And I wanted to ask you, as someone who kind of specializes in this field, what are some things that we as a school and as a community can do to support each other during this time?
I appreciate your question. I think this is a hard time for the school and for the children as well as the adults who are here. One of the things that we really like to emphasize now is being kind to each other. And I know that doesn't seem like much, but we find in our department that when things like this happen, sometimes grief's really overwhelming, or not knowing how to deal with grief is really overwhelming. So we see people make inappropriate comments, people try to lighten the mood, try to be jovial, and other people are offended by that. It's a hard time. It's a hard time to know how to get it right. So what I would encourage all of us to do is to try to approach everyone with a little more kindness, a little more respect, understanding that everybody may not process things like this the way you do. Some people may be sad, some people may be angry, some people still may totally be in denial that something terrible's happened, so they're not processing it at any level. And we would just really encourage everybody to be as supportive as they can of each other right now and how people are coping with this, how we're going to get through the next couple days.
And I know, like you said, people respond differently. What can students expect as far as, how long something like this is going to impact them?
That's a good question. And we see that frequently in our department. Somebody will be very concerned because someone just had a loss. Typically, we don't worry about how people are coping with grief and loss for 6 months to a year. But that can give people 6 months to a year that they're struggling without sometimes proper support. We would encourage any student who's experiencing any kind of significant change. And by that I mean, if you're a person who loves to sleep and all of a sudden you can't get to sleep and you can't stay asleep, if you're someone who enjoys exercise and all of a sudden you don't feel like you can get yourself off the couch, if you don't ever eat very much and all of a sudden you're eating everything in the house and you don't even know why, If you see changes like that in your behavior or in the behavior of a friend, we would encourage you to go to the school counselor, somebody in administration, a trusted teacher. We find that the teachers here are so good about making sure kids get connections made that they can get some support without it being that big of a deal. If we know the change is happening, we have systems in place to help support. We just have to know who needs that support. We oftentimes tell families, same thing. If you can just be supportive and open, give people time to talk if they want to talk, and then don't if they don't. And that's hard too, because some of us are talkers and we want you to talk, so it's better.
Sure.
Some people don't get better when they talk. So I think you just have to be real graceful again with people, and then know that if you're seeing a friend struggling, if you're seeing somebody who you can see changes, that might be a good time to let an adult know. If you're the person who's experiencing the changes, let somebody here at school know. The school counselors are a great place to start, Ms. King and Ms. Tedder.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your advice and for your wisdom. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That wraps up this week's episode of Yellow Jacket Life. Thanks for watching. I'm Braxton.
And I'm Caroline, and we'll be back next week with the very special senior edition of Yellow Jacket Life.